An effective technique for subtracting mixed numbers with unlike denominators is to generate equivalent fractions in order to find a common denominator. In this video, we will use this technique to subtract mixed numbers with unlike denominators. In each case, the fraction differences do not involve regrouping, and the solution is written as a fraction in simplest form. Let's start with an example. A recipe calls for a certain amount of milk and water. Given the measurements shown, how much more water is needed than milk? To find out how much more water than milk there is, find the difference between these two mixed numbers. Subtract the whole number parts and fractional parts separately, as shown here. Find equivalent fractions for 1/3 and 1/4 to find a common denominator. Here are equivalent fractions for 1/3 and 1/4. Notice the common denominator of 12. Use these equivalent fractions to find the difference, as shown here. The fractional difference with the common denominator is shown here. The difference is 1/12, so there is 1/12 of a cup more water than milk. Let's try another example. Two sets of pattern blocks are shown. The yellow block represents a whole unit, the blue represents a third, and the red represents half. How much larger is the area on the left than the area on the right? The area on the left is 1 plus 1/2, or 1.5, as a mixed number. The area on the right is 1 plus 1/3, or 1 1/3, as a mixed number. To find the difference between these two mixed numbers, simplify this expression. Subtracting the whole number parts leaves 0. So now we can find the difference between the two fractions. Use the pattern blocks for 6 to find the common denominator, as shown here. The half pattern block is 3 1/6 blocks, and the 1/3 pattern block is 2 1/6 blocks. Going back to the subtraction equation, we get 3/6 minus 2/6, which is equal to 1/6. So the area on the left is 1/6 larger than the other area. Let's try a final example. For a deck, two planks are side by side. The first plank is 5 1/4 inches wide, and the second plank is 7 2/5 inches wide. How much wider is the second plank? To find the difference in the lengths, simplify this expression, 7 2/5 minus 5 1/4. Let's separate the whole number calculation from the fraction calculation as shown here. To subtract the fractions, find equivalent fractions for 1/4 and 2/5. Notice that 20 is a common denominator. The solution then becomes this. The result is 2 3/20.